Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 8th iteration of the Founders Log. Today is 21st of May, and I am your host, Calvin, with the Founders Log. Now, today we're going to do something a little different. We are actually going to be focusing the Founders Log correlation of this podcast with our blog, which is written on the past, the present, and the future. Today is week 5. I have the blog officially pulled up for here. That way I can correlate some of today's topic of conversation based off the blog. We're going to be trying to provide the audio version of the blog that we have already written just so that they can correlate with each other. That way you can either A, read the blog and you don't have to listen to this, or B, you can listen to this and follow along with the blog. The podcast is going to give a lot more insight or background to the actual experience with what we want to cover in the blog. This just gives me a lot more time to do so and gives me a lot more time to focus on actually providing an engaged decision and kind of vocal perception of the Founders Log. So for those of you who are new to this little iteration of the Founders Log, this is basically a behind-the-scenes look at everything that we have focused in the past week, in the present day, as in today, what we're working on, and what we have as our ambitions into the week coming up. And we are doing these iterations once every week, kind of to give you a behind-the-scenes update to our progression and kind of just let you see the inner works of what I've kind of learned along the process and where we can kind of progress forward and really show you everything that we've learned. So without further ado, I think it's very important to look at the past week and what a week it has been. It's officially congratulations to all of us who have put in the hard work and getting us to where we are today, because on Saturday the 16th of May we officially launched American Butcher's Jerky. Big event for us because we correlated the launch date to be actually working with Armed Forces Day, as we are a veteran-run company. Both myself and the other members are all active duty or retired military, so that is a pretty big feature that plays into our company. And since a lot of our product is focused on donating towards first responders and military members serving overseas, that is ultimately a great time to launch. And so we decided to launch on Saturday, like I said, the 16th of May, to combat with Armed Forces Day. Now, we officially launched the hard launch on that Saturday, but when I was looking at trying to decide on how we wanted to launch, we decided that we wanted a soft opening. And so you might have to look into the blog for this one, but we've correlated between the soft opening and a hard opening, and I'm just going to do a brief explanation here real quick just so that you don't get too dried out. But a soft opening is where you just kind of ease into the opening, and then the hard opening is where you basically have not told anyone that it increases a lot more hype. And since this was a brand new enterprise, a brand new business for us, a real new experience, we wanted to kind of incorporate both of them. So Saturday the 16th was going to be our hard official launch, but we actually did a soft launch on Thursday, the few days before, so that I could kind of see the inner workings of what is actually required in the launch. So I understood a lot of the background and the ordering and understanding a lot of the logistics that is accessible only once you've actually launched your store. So that was something that was definitely taken by surprise, and which I actually didn't know about until I further launched the store. So we got that set up, we did the soft launch, and we officially launched. It was great. We did a unique thing in which I was reading a number of articles on Shopify just while I was transitioning from Thursday to Saturday, in which I spent all of my time kind of looking at Shopify, refreshing, wondering if I could pull any social grasp or any customers just without doing anything, just let the store basically run itself. And unfortunately, we didn't make any sales. And that really is kind of our own, not fault, but our own understanding, was because we weren't advertising it. We weren't pushing out the mission. We weren't pushing out our objectives. And I just wanted to see what was happening. So when Saturday came, the very first thing I found from almost all of the blogs I was reading was how to make your first sale, was to push your product to your friends and family. So in honor of Armed Forces Day, I created a post on my own personal Facebook page basically highlighting that we had this ambition that we wanted to send 30 bags of beef jerky over to soldiers stationed overseas. And so I wrote that article up on my personal Facebook. I created a 20% off donation to the customers, saying, hey, 20% off just as a initial day that we want to try and support those and try and get the most amount of sales possible so that we can send obviously the most amount of bags overseas. And it was incredible. Within the first 3 days, I completely sold out of 2 flavors, our All-American Classic and our Sweet and Spicy. And just today, being almost a week since our soft launch, we are almost sold out of 3 flavors. We have 1 left of jalapeno, and I think we have 2 left of teriyaki. So incredible results just from the local friends and community. And out of that 1 Facebook page, I think we received about 23 shares. So we got customers that I hadn't even engaged with. I didn't even know, but just the community and my friends and family on Facebook allowed us to really have a great opening. And that opening kind of set the pillars for what is our roof of this business and the strategy that we wanted to see in the future. So I couldn't thank everyone who supported us and got us going off the ground. It was incredible, and our launch completely sold out. And that kind of leads us on to where we continued to grasp, and I wanted to focus on some other avenues while we were initially looking at the past week. My other goal was to focus on social media and our Instagram, Facebook platform, and seeing where we are on that. And I did something a little unique this past week that I hadn't ever done before, and that was investing in Instagram ads. At first, I was kind of hesitant in doing so, but I was messing with the Instagram algorithm, and I saw that you could run a campaign on a specific post for $5 a day, and you could bump that number all the way up as you felt necessary. But I felt $5 a day was a pretty good initial investment, and I wanted to see how this would turn around for a week. So I set for 7 days, so $35 there is what we decided to do. And I cannot express how the turnaround benefited us. When I initially started the ad, we had 35 followers, I believe, and looking at our Instagram currently, just looking at everything we have right now, we are at a miraculous 105 Instagram followers, and the 1 post that I specifically tried to market and campaign is at 125 likes. That was just about 3 days of main engagement, and we have about 3 days left, actually. So we're a little over halfway now. We're on day 4, and to see the results come around between Instagram marketing and seeing how we've kind of turned around the initial first 100 followers is incredible. And I can't thank all of you who are following. If you're not following, make sure to check us out at American Butcher's Jerky with an I, and hopefully we kind of keep you engaged. Our main objective is really to show the military force as of right now, mostly just because that's who I'm engaged with. I would love to market and push out towards firefighters, EMTs, police officers, or other military branches. But right now, the Army is who I'm engaged with the most, just because that is kind of what I do with being a pilot. So a lot of the posts are geared towards being a pilot or being in the Army. But that's something that I hope to transition and continue to push down the road. But that is exactly everything that we can kind of cover in the past week and setting us up to where we are. Now, let's move on to today and to the present. What are some of the things that we've learned today physically, like the 21st of Thursday? What did I learn today, and what am I doing to kind of progress the business forward? And I'm going to start off today with expressing that right now, as it stands, we're currently doing about 2 orders a day. Now, we did have a dry day where we didn't actually gain any type of traction. Our store had, I think, 6 total views, so they didn't have that many sessions at all. But just giving out the average, I think we're looking at about 2 sales a day right now. So I'm packaging up the orders myself. This morning, I wrote thank you letters handwritten for every order that we receive. I think that's just a great way to really show appreciation and thank your customers for everything that they're doing, especially when they're buying your product that you're going to know is going towards a special home when you donate products overseas. And so that is what our main mission is. So I decided I personally hand wrote. I bought some thank you cards from Walmart. They're just a great incentive to really show appreciation towards everyone. And then I also received our 1,000 order of stickers. So I have a glorified amount of stickers that I'm trying to give out to people. So in every order, I've basically popped in a sticker just to kind of create brand awareness, create some opportunity for people to place stickers on their car or place them on their water bottles or computer. Really, just overall, I think that was a great idea, and I'm really happy for it. So, like I said, in every thank you, they get a sticker. Now, the afternoon was a little hesitant. I spent 2.5 hours on the phone with Shopify, but the 2.5 hours honestly did not feel like 2.5 hours because of the agent that I worked with through Shopify. Shout out to my Guy. His name is actually Guy. He spent a countless amount of hours with me working on taxes and understanding why I was not getting charged for sales tax on specific orders that were outside of Texas. And at first, I thought this was very weird given that we had sold a relatively amount of product, and I was curious as to why I was receiving no sales tax. But insert mind-blowing knowledge, there's this thing called Tax Nexus, which basically shows that since our business is based out of Texas and that's where we make all of our product, ship all of our product, our taxes is applied through the state of Texas. So if an order is purchased within Texas and it's shipped to someone within Texas, the customer pays sales tax. But if an order is purchased outside of Texas, you have thus granted yourself Tax Nexus, which means your customer is not paying sales tax until you have hit a certain threshold in that specific state. I didn't know this was a thing, but like New York City's $250,000. So until we've actually made $250,000 worth of e-commerce in that specific store or in that specific state, we won't be charging sales tax, which is a new feature. And I think that states are not quite sure how e-commerce has worked and how the tax benefits are playing along. So thus, there is no sales tax outside of Texas until we hit a certain threshold. So incredible feature, just something that I've learned along the way. Now, continuing on, since we are completely sold out of our product, this afternoon, I was back in with our Smoke Master, and we were working on what we wanted to kind of produce for the next batch. So we've decided to completely kind of double our initial order with jerky. So we're in the back smoking it, we're cutting it, we're marinating all blends. We've got the smoker going every 6 hours right now, so we're pounding out jerky pretty quickly, and we should be back and ready to launch and ready to go. Hopefully by, I'm thinking Monday. So today is the 21st, Thursday. Hopefully by Monday we should have everything restocked. And I just really wasn't prepared for selling out this quick, but that's incredible and it's awesome. And then I was able to also ship out 25 bags of donated product to soldiers stationed overseas. So I packaged up and put in some thank you cards that were written from some of our customers, and I packaged that up and shipped that. And I will highlight that specific unit in another blog because I think the theory and the process of how I actually obtained that unit is really unique, and I kind of want to talk about that, which I'll do so in another blog. So that is everything in today's topic of conversation and where we are right now. And now it's time to cheers to the future. So where do we want to take American Butcher's Jerky from this week, and where do we want to progress into next week? That way, because it's always important to continue to push your business forward, continue to evolve, because I've learned that if you don't do anything and you think the business is going to get better on its own, you are very wrong. So you have to continue to push your ideas out and continue to engage with your business. So hopefully next week we should be completely up on inventory. And we should also be able to see how our relationship and how we kind of correlate with our buyers is going to go. So it's always a good thing when we're completely sold out, but that means we can't donate more bags overseas. We can't send more to soldiers. We can't send more to people. So we need to get our supplies back in stock. Now, one of the things that I want to focus on in the next week is I've been reading this marketing book about social media and influencers and paid ads and all these ways to outreach your business. And I love the Instagram ads that we're currently running. And I think we need to focus on a few other ad campaigns that was spending a little bit of our marketing budget. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I've really learned, the hands down number one thing, is about social attraction and publicity. And that is gaining social awareness for your business so that the customer knows everything about your business. So that's writing blogs, that's creating podcasts, that's kind of informing the customer about the ins and outs of your operation. So that way, when a customer has any question at all, you've provided an answer and kind of given them the best outlook. And rather than spending money on social influencers or promoting your products through ads, I think the most important thing is to be the social influencer. I am the influencer for our brand, our business, our jerky. I am trying to create all types. I could write and I could pay someone to write up articles, but why not write the articles myself? Why not create the attraction that I'm trying to bring for our business so that we can ultimately help more people or we can donate more product? So thus, that is making me the social media influencer. And I hope in the next weeks, things that I've already progressed is trying to incorporate this podcast with the blog, which I've done exactly right here. And I've also consistently tried to figure out how we can help more soldiers, how we can continue to donate more products. And so that's something that I want to continue to keep my eye on in the future, is being able to see how we can assist more people down the road. And next thing I've kind of was reading is, I'll kind of let it fade off here, is the ability of consistency. And that is showing the customer that you are consistent in the way that if someone enjoys reading these kind of in-depth entrepreneurial kind of background information on businesses, it's being consistent with them. So I've kind of created a little schedule here personally that will allow me to ensure that everything is done consistently. That way you know when something is coming. So for example, the blog in this podcast, I want to release every Tuesday. I know that today is Thursday, but you can expect the next iteration and hopefully the consistency to start on Tuesday. And so I think that's what we're going to continue to do, is incorporate this podcast with the blog and eventually create other blogs to highlight unique features of our business and highlight unique soldiers, military highlights, donation processes, how we're donating to businesses, knowledgeable information about business operations. And this might be a rough podcast. You might be very bored, and some of you might not even be listening by the end of this. But the only thing we can do is consistency will allow us to make better changes down the road. And so if we want to get better at something, we've got to start somewhere, and we have to continue to keep pushing and try and get better and better. So we're going to get better and better till we can't be beat. Ultimately, that's the main objective for us, is to be a great business, jerky business, and a great company that supports and gives back to the community. So without further ado, thank you all for listening. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, make sure to give us a like. If you're not following us on Instagram, give us a follow. And if you have any soldier or know of a soldier, military member who's stationed overseas, make sure to let us know so that we can add them to our donation process, and if how many guys are in their unit, because like we said, we would love to help and donate. So thank you for listening, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.